Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So this is my second attempt at well, not my second attempt. This is the second half of episode 6. We're just going to call it episode 7 for the sake of simplicity. It's only going to be 3 days after episode 6 proper, the actual episode 7. So that's going to be fine. All right. We're going to need to actually do this war. This is a real war. What was I... Oh, so what I was thinking about is let me take a quick look at what China's got going on. So China's got line infantry and mobile artillery. Total forces, pretty large, very high potential for forces. But I think our... We have some skirmish infantry in here, but I think my potential for force deployment is actually way, way higher than theirs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least see... Oh, France is already going for a transfer to Joseon. Well, that puts a crimp in my whole idea. What if instead I steal Formosa? Yeah, what if I steal Formosa? What if I make myself a Taiwan? This is very silly. This is actually probably easier than stealing Joseon, now that I think about it. Is there a better... What else could I... So, okay, hold on. Conquer... I can only conquer stuff in the north because I've only got an interest in the north. Oh no, wait, hold on. I'm just looking at Korea. Yeah, I only built interests there. All right, so that could have. Oh wait, here we go. Now here we go. So this is Formosa. I can. Oh my gosh, it's 35 infamy. That's so much infamy. If, on the other hand, if I transfer Lanfang, well, transferring Lanfang wouldn't necessarily be so bad. I could conquer Lanfang. Hold up, is Bavaria a subject of Prussia? They are. Interesting. If I could seize Lanfang, that would give me a base from which to attack these other areas. I think I'm going to go for a conquer on Lanfang. Conquer Lanfang, 7.5 infamy. That makes perfect sense. Alright, let's get rolling. Qing withdraws from the Nanjing Protocol. Okay, yeah, well, that's not shocking. Mexico City Protocol is broken. Alright, that's fine. Love to have that extra infamy, or that extra influence. Super, super easy to deal with that. 3rd Canadian Army, where are you going? You're staying here. Alright, 4th Canadian Army, you're gonna... 2nd Canadian Fleet, are you fully built? Yes, you are. Alright, so what we're gonna do... is I'm going to grab 4th Army, station them in Kutai. I'm going to grab the 2nd Fleet. I'm going to station them near Kutai. And we're just going to naval invade Lanfang. I think that's going to be how we're going to do it. And this is going to be super duper easy. United States sides of France. Alright, beautiful. So they're helping us. That's going to make the war against Mexico pretty trivial. Have they got a war goal? No, they're just in it for love of the game. All right, that's good. They're putting forces there, so that shouldn't be a problem. 1st Canadian Army is continuing to expand rapidly in strength, which I'm feeling pretty pleased about. We're building all these. They're already done. Excellent. We'll see who gets involved. Who else gets involved? Britain has bailed out. They're not involving themselves. Brazil might lean towards our side, but we'll see. Scandinavia might lean towards our side, but we'll see. Everything else is chill. So now the question is, do I continue to spend all of this cash? I think maybe at least some of it. Maybe we finish these railways in Siam, and then we clear it out. I do have sufficient forces. I can't believe the United States is not sufficient on that front. I'm just going to set... Oh, we're not at war yet, so I can't set an objective. Let's put the Third Army on the northern front of Mexico. We can easily redeploy them to somewhere else if it becomes an issue. Right. Second Fleet is continuing to expand in size. So we are going to do this. Alright, everyone else is going to be neutral. And here comes the war. Alright, so first things first. Let's just go ahead and invade Lanfang. Get that knocked right out. This is going to be super quick. I'm not at all concerned about that. The front in France looks really, really good. The fronts in Mexico look really good. I'm just going to set the capital as the target. Which is here. And you know what? I'm going to keep building. I think once I hit the point where I'm building some of these power block statues, maybe I'll just go another 6 weeks to finish out this set of electrics industries. And after that, I think I'll be good. So, that's fine. Ignacio Mensky, you're good to go. This army has no units in it, so this naval base should be just fine. We're winning the naval battle decisively due to our superior technology. Again, not at all shocking. Diplomatic ties with Circassia lost. Interesting. Oh, because Circassia is now a British puppet. Interesting. We got 2 fronts in Europe, so we'll see kind of what comes of that. We're in not the one I would... Oh, no, this is the main one. This is the main one. Alright, so this army is going to have Brandenburg, aka Berlin, as its strategic objective. Alright, 1 more week and then we'll pause government construction. Alright. Radio production. This is lovely. The production of radios in our factories has led to a boom in employment and profit. Telephones? No. Who wants a telephone? One person talks to another person? Useless. What you want is a radio. One person talks to hundreds, nay thousands. And the best part? They can't talk back. More radios. Extra radio output. Nice. Reasonable and sensible. Look at this line item. Speaking of reasonable and sensible, heck. What's going on here in Senangor? It's a civil war. A radical revolt. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get... I can't get a subject, so I'm not gonna get involved. Alright. That's the invasion of Lanfang completed. And 4th Army is over here. So now, in order to secure the transfer of Joseon, this war goal is located here. So is Gyeonggi the capital? Yes. Alright, well let's go ahead and invade Gyeonggi with the 4th Army once again. I don't think their forces there are going to be able to defend, so I'm not super worried about that. Force comparison is looking really good in Prussia. The Mexican front Mexico's defenses have completely collapsed. So this war actually might just end up kind of being a rollover situation. Our investment pool is draining at a significant rate now, but there's so much cash. There's such a large buffer in there that I'm not even concerning myself with it, really. Do I unpause? Do I resume government construction? I think I do. I think I can afford it. At least to build some more electrics industries. Alright, we are invading here. Yeah, look at all that. Look at all that. We're invading. Guns and steam. Eustace Pupor has successfully deployed our impressive dreadnoughts in the ongoing conflict, proving that they are not mere vanity projects for the Navy. At first, onlookers were shocked as it appeared from a distance that the ship itself had exploded. In fact, the flames engulfing it were from its first full broadside. The ship itself is quite unharmed, although I have heard that it is inadvisable to keep any fragile objects on board for such an occasion. More impressive now than ever, extra prestige. Now we know how to use them effectively even in peacetime. Extra prestige from Navy power projection. I'm just going to go with the flat prestige bonus. Navy power projection is very rarely high enough for me that it's worth doing it the other way. Now we do have a strength penalty here, but unfortunately for our enemies, they are so few in number and so ill-equipped that we're not going to have a problem getting there. We have 2 armies in Mexico at this stage. I think I'm going to take the 3rd Canadian Army over to the Indonesia HQ just to get them moved onto this front once this becomes a proper front, and that should be fine. TIV National Awakening, very cool. Alright, yeah, and we got a hold of Mexico's capital, so that should not be a problem. I'm going to pause government construction here again, just to keep our finances rock solid. We've got Prussia's capital now, so all of this is pretty much looking like a wash. What is this? This is Kandahar. Alright. I'm not going to concern myself with that. Okay, uprising in French Senegal sorted itself out. Alright, we have successfully landed. So we'll divert the 3rd Army to the front in Korea, and that should be just fine. And at this point, we're spending at an extremely sustainable rate. Nobody has been able to naval invade us. We are losing some convoys, but I didn't see where. Perhaps in the English Channel. Great Qing is damaging relations. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, so this should sort itself out. Yeah, I think this is going to be a total wash. Now, does China have war support protection? They do not, because we are holding Korea. So beautiful. And we now have 2 armies here. This should be more than adequate to our needs, so we will simply bash forward until the war is done. One of our allies is invading here in looks like Zanzibar is invading. You know what? You get him, Zanzibar. Alright, and this is good. So we'll be able to get Lanfang, and then what we'll do... There's Mexico out the war. Let's put the 2nd Army in Canada, just to make sure we're properly defended. So what I'll do is I'll go directly to just kind of seizing all of, I think, Western Borneo for Kutai. And we'll hand that area to Kutai, and that'll be good. Actually, before I do that, let me... I'm really counting my chickens before they hatch here. So, Kutai is a Bornean Sunni nation. So, Sintong's population is predominantly Bornean, okay. West Borneo, predominantly Bornean. They're Insulindian and Malay, Malay language. Interesting. Dayak, Insulindian and Dayak language. Okay, so they don't share a language, but they're otherwise... They're both Insulindian heritage, which is of the heritage group Southeast Asian. Okay, Pontianak, fully Bornean. Sambas, mostly Bornean. Lanfang, partially Hakka, Interesting. They're a Han group. Okay, well they're gonna end up being a minority, but that's I'm sure it won't be that bad. What are you doing over here? You're doing subjecthood, so that'll be just fine. That'll be just fine. All right, so that's the next thing on our docket. Beautiful. All right, Prussia's out. Prussia's out the war. First Canadian Army, we will simply return to Canada. I'm not worried about this war against Great Qing. Okay, you're good. You're getting there. You're getting there. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this war against Great Qing, to be completely honest. They are losing war support fast from losing a lot of battles. So, I guess this isn't going to be a war megasode, because this war ended up being pretty straightforward. Only about a year. Yeah, they're losing 5 war support per week. Okay. I think we're going to see a bunch of small capitulations. Is this massive disrespect that I'm not even really sending my... You know what? I'll send my top arm. Nah, because I don't want him to get stuck over there. I don't want to have a weirdness involving where armies are located. Senator Living's doing pretty well. And that's Great Qing. So now I have West Borneo. Alright, beautiful. So, I'm going to simply wait until my armies are no longer being attrited due to being stuck in enemy territory. Which is going to take a little time, but it shouldn't take too much time. And then we'll be good to go. And by good to go, I mean about to kick off our war against the Dutch East Indies and the Netherlands. So who do the Netherlands have as allies? The Netherlands have a defensive pact with Mexico, or an alliance with Mexico and a defensive pact with Scandinavia. I'm not too worried about either of them. I just fought Mexico in a war and it was real easy. Alright, my armies are out of exile. So, what do I want as my primary? Annexing Pontianak is 3.5 infamy. Annexing Sintang is 3.5 infamy. Annexing Sambas. And Sambas is part of the Western Borneo state. Okay. It's 3.5 infamy. And then stealing... this little bit of Dutch East Indies is going to be 11.2. So really I can basically pick anything. Alright, let's go with an annex of Pontianak. Again, none of these are terribly reliable. We're going to get the Netherlands in there, and we're going to see what other powers decide to do. I wonder if I need to... Yeah, let's do it. 3.5 infamy to conquer. It's the same as an annex. It should be in all ways the same as an annex. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to mobilize 3rd Canadian Army, and I'm just going to put them over here in this area. Alright, that's going to put us up against Dutch East Indies, so let's go ahead and add the war goals that we desire. So we're already annexing Pontianak. I'm going to annex... Okay, it's got to be conquer. Hold on. Okay, Dutch East Indies, West Borneo. Then I want Sambas and Sintang. Okay, let me just make sure I do this properly. I can only... Okay, this is weird. Maybe I need to transfer them. Yeah, Sambas. Sintang, you're a direct Dutch subject. Okay, that's what's going on. So I need to transfer Sambas. Is this wise? I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait on that for a little bit. I am going to add this to primary, which is going to be a little bit more infamy. You know what? Yeah, no, I am. Oh, that's a lot more infamy, actually. Alright. So now the Netherlands is in there. So now I should be able to add my other war goals. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I got subject targets now. Okay, so I want Sintang. Oh no, this is on behalf of Maya. Okay, hold on. It's got to be in here somewhere, right? It isn't. It isn't. I gotta add him to my. All right, I gotta transfer Sintang, and I gotta transfer Sambas. All right. I'm going to also mobilize the 4th Army, and I'll see what else I need in terms of mobilization. What kind of a fleet does the Netherlands have? Not much of one. All right. We'll get going here. Now I can definitely unpause construction. And do I mobilize another army? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not yet. Beautiful. Alright. Now we've got plastics. Finally. This is going to be huge for our glass market. Let's go. Let's let a week go by to see what that does. We're going to need a lot more oil, I suspect. I suspect the next step is going to be a lot of oil development. But let's see. Start by market price. Yep, we're going to need a lot more oil. But we're doing okay, pretty okay with oil right now. So, I believe Saskatchewan has oil resources. They're downsizing, but they shouldn't be. Ooh, let's go with combustion engine derricks, why don't we? In fact, I didn't realize we had access to that, because I'm silly. Let's leave the rice farms for now, because they're about to be someone else's. Where are my oil rigs? Here we go. Combustion engine derricks all the way. We'll let a week go by once again to make sure that that goes well. Alright, there's Netherlands. There's Scandinavia, there's Mexico. Alright, so. How disrespectful would it be if I only sent the 4th Army to Mexico? No. That is a level of disrespect that is too extreme. We'll mobilize the 2nd Army and we'll send them. This is going to be really straightforward. Alright, it's a new week. Let's see how much combustion engine derricks. Combustion engine derricks has helped us a lot. We're not completely sorted yet. But let's take a look at glass. Have I completely bottomed out glass? I've completely bottomed out glass. Alright. Let's set an export subvention. Heck yes. And now, let's build up 20 levels of oil rigs and... You know what? We'll build the full 30 levels of oil rigs in Manitoba. That'll be fine. We got plenty of infrastructure. I can throw all these power block statues at the bottom of the queue for now. Those are not needed with any level of urgency. And then, do I mobilize my big... Big stuff there, psychoanalysis, that's fun. Oh boy, plastic production. The switch to plastic in our glassworks is set to revolutionize the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a world first. Behold this perfectly carved ivory chess piece. Beautiful, no? What if I were to tell you that it is not ivory at all, but a new material known as plastic? Plastic is the future, extra glassworks throughput, or we should spread this knowledge. USA gets some tech progress on plastics. I'm going to go with the throughput. Smash that throughput button. They're confident. I'm not sure why they're confident. Not sure why you think you're going to win this, Netherlands. But you know. Perhaps I will mobilize my first army after all. I don't want to... I need subjects I want to liberate. I can't liberate... Wait, hold on. Liberate country. Any countries I want to liberate. Liberate Rio Grande. That would certainly be interesting. Where is Toba located? No, this is Dutch East Indies. North Sumatra. Alright. I'm not going to worry about additional war goals. I think I've got the war goals I want in there. We're on our way to producing high-grade explosives as well, which will be really, really nice. And elevators is spreading. Wonderful. Mexico is damaging relations. Alright, very good. I'm actually going to pull the 4th Army over to the Maritimes. This front actually is not looking as good as it could be. So maybe... Is there anyone I could bring in? I could bring in Great Britain or France. If I bring in France, the only way I could do it is by handing them one of my subjects, and I don't want to do that. Bring in Great Britain, same deal. So I'm not going to do that. So maybe the answer is 3rd Canadian Army is going to get some conscript forces. We'll just do a little round of conscription. Just a little. Canada can have a little bit of conscription as a treat. We're still increasing in organization here. This should sort itself out before the war starts, I'm hoping. Now what about 2nd Army? I think perhaps I will naval invade the Netherlands with the 1st Army. But perhaps I will only need the 4th Army. But they need to get their organization up as well. Maybe I should have waited a little bit longer before getting this started. But I still feel reasonably confident in my ability to get this thing rolling. Now what is this? This is the Antillean Confederation against Spain. They seem pretty strong. Are they really only this one state? Hard to tell. Weird. I'm gonna not involve myself in that for now. So that should be fine. I'm gonna keep this army on defense for the time being. I'm going to keep this army on defense for the time being. And we'll whittle away our enemies a little bit as we build up organization. Oh, actually, no, your organization's maxed. We'll set you on advance. We'll set you on pillage. And do I raise some conscripts with the 2nd Army? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I need to yet, at least. Antillean Confederation backs down. Okay. They thought the Spanish were not going to fight. They fought theoretical Spain, and theoretical Spain won. Alright, so 4th Army will give them a little time to get themselves sorted out before we invade there. This army is still building up organization. And rapidly increasing in strength, so that should be good. We do have battles rolling on the Mexico front. We are winning. And we have a new mandate available. Wonderful. I think... What do we get from this? We get more convoys and reduce convoys' cost of port connections. That is very good. On the other hand, if I add... I do want to add advanced research. And I kind of want it fast. So I'm going to get it now, and we'll do the convoys one later. We'll get external trade after that. Alright. War's up. Fourth Army is still regaining organization, so I'll let them be for now. I think when this round of oil rigs is good to go, we'll stop building. We're slowly getting these power block statues built. Man, the one in Alaska is going real slow, but them's the bricks. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And one more week, and then we are good. All play and no work. General Louis-Philippe d'Orion's personal habits are starting to get in the way of his role as a general. Alright, d'Orion, which army are you in? You're in the First Army. Okay. Louis-Philippe d'Orion smiles at the officer, exultantly, avidly. His eyes have obviously seen better days. Carefully recumbent on his leather armchair, his voice comes out as rubbery as the material. It's a stressful job, you know. No need to make it even more stressful. Fire him, or he's too valuable, reduce morale damage. We're going to fire him. We're going to put someone else in charge over here. Let me see. We got Industrial Sky, Psychological Affliction, and Scarred. That's pretty bad. Let's go with this traditionalist imposing feminist with petite bourgeoisie. Hey, Sam's nice. Excellent. Get that done. That'll be good. Fourth Army is nearly fully organized, and now they are. So, we'll grab the main fleet, and we'll just invade Holland. And then over here, that means that the Third Army is also fully organized. So we'll put them on advance as well. And now we're going to see how this goes. I feel very confident in my ability to win this battle, yeah. Let's see if my confidence is misplaced. Not at all. I am indeed advancing. Beautiful. A little short on authority, which is interesting. No problem at all. I will cut a consumption tax on opium. It's just a little cash. I hardly need to worry about it. Alright. The ratio in Mexico has gotten much, much better. Discovered rubber in South Madagascar. Very nice. We'll go ahead and add that to... Actually, we'll let that be for now, because the construction queue doesn't... The private sector will build that. Interesting. I was expecting this comparison to be better than it is, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. They do have some troops moving in, and these are mostly real troops. So we'll see how this attack goes. I still feel reasonably confident. I think I'll be able to invade. Prussia lost its rivalries. Does this mean Prussia's a minor? Prussia's a minor now. Oh, man. Alright, it does look like we are winning on our battle against the Netherlands, so I'm feeling pretty good about that, and our force comparison is rapidly improving. Excellent. Get rid of these notifications. Don't want to have a game crash due to notifications. Alright, are advancing in Southeast Asia. Lovely. We're advancing in Mexico. Lovely. We're losing some convoys. Where are we losing convoys? Gulf of St. Lawrence. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab the second fleet and bring them up near here. I've noticed the AI has frame-perfect reaction with respect to moving fleets away from locations that you're going to, but if you don't go to the exact location, they're less good at it. Alright, first battle is won here in Holland. 22%. Oh no, we're really advancing, actually. We've won several battles already. In fact, it looks like we're there. This is their capital, and it looks like this battle's a win. So we might this war might be about to be done. Well, lovely. Nice quick war. 2 quick wars. 2 nice, quick, in and out, 20-minute war. Nice. And our infamy's almost decayed below 26 now. Ooh! We hit the big leagues. We're number 1 in the power rankings. 4,836. Prestige compared to Britain's 4,606. Very nice. Oh, I'm so pleased. I'm so very pleased. Alright. So at this point, we've got basically all of our targets. Lacustrine Bantu. And we are winning our battles over here. So this should be good. Probably should have taken North Borneo at the same time, but you know what? I'm not in a hurry. I can always take more from the Netherlands later. The Netherlands, they're free. You can just take them. I have one entire state in Southeast Asia, and I'm rolling up on a second. Am I using my entire construction queue? Can't see, so it's hard to... Yes. 100%. Alright, beautiful. Very good. I'm going to be doing some annexations, which is going to make my my subjects a little cagey, but that is what it is. We're just going to have to tolerate it. Alright, I've lost another general. René Edouard Pinchot. Is there an army that is short on command capacity? 4th Army needs another leader. Let's go with this petite bourgeoisie guy. Another imperious feminist. Excellent. Now, does the Netherlands have war support protection? They still technically do, because I haven't got full control of Pontianak or Sambas yet. But we're getting there. So it shouldn't be... Well, actually, they might... Yeah, no, I still need that. I still need that. But this should be pretty straightforward. So I'll set that as my strategic objective. And now we're rolling. And I believe we have we are progressing towards full control of the Netherlands proper, which is also giving us a lot of progress towards getting them capitulated. With Mexico, we're very nearly holding Mexico City, so that's going to get them progressing towards capitulation. And I'm going to once again just kind of ignore Scandinavia. I don't need to attack Scandinavia to win this war. And Mexico has bailed out of the war. Well, I mean... I suppose I could invade Scandinavia. Alright, Second Fleet. We'll just leave them in the Gulf of St. Lawrence for now. And how are we making progress in Sambas? 37%, with a battle being won right now. Lovely. So I'm hoping it's only going to take one more battle. 74% now. Brazil sides with Hyderabad. Uh-oh. Someone's going after Hyderabad. Oh man, France is going after them to steal a bunch of Hyderabad. With Brazil defending them. This is dicey. I wanted a bunch of Hyderabad. What? Oh wow, they are making themselves really, really infamous on this. Which, I guess, it is what it is. Alright, so this should be able to be sorted out really, really soon. Let's see if they're willing to simply accept the loss of all of the things right now. No? One more week. One more week, and then they'll be willing to accept the loss of other things. Alright, beautiful. Easy war. Quick and easy. Hyderabad backs down. Interesting. Oh my goodness. So France just stole all of that. That's wild. Everything except for the capital. Golly. Oh, but there's a Pontiac socialist revolt. That's really funny. 3.5 infamy to conquer them. I think I'll wait a little bit. Alright. Sambas. Gonna reduce subject payments. Sintang, I'm gonna reduce subject payments. I am going to annex both of those countries pretty soon. West Borneo, we will hand over to... Actually, I'm going to do the annexations first, and then hand them over to Kutai. Well... I should do it sooner rather than later, actually. So it's a little bit of a waste, but it's still good that way. Now, I think we'll... Yeah, okay. So, both of these countries are significantly reducing in liberty desire. I think once you're... Okay, and I'm back to position 2. But I'm close to being in position 1. So tell you what we'll do. I have plenty of cash flow, so we'll unpause the construction queue. And what we'll do is we'll just build up our fleet. I'm going to put another fella in charge. Let me see. I got 2 romantic dockyard organizers in the industrialists. One of them is a Republican, one of them is a moderate. So we'll go with the moderate. And yeah, we'll go with 5, 10, 15, 20. Scout cruisers and another 5, 10, 15... 20 dreadnoughts. And that should be fine. Again, this is going to cost us a little pile of cash, but it's worth it. It's worth it to keep us in the top spot. Standard of living is really, really spiked, which is nice. We're actually number 3 in global standard of living, which is pretty rad. The others Belgium, and the others are Belgium and Serbia. I don't know what Serbia is doing, but they're doing it right. Under Ottoman leadership. Really interesting. Curious. 1 Bang Bo, an intelligentsia reformer, exiled from Joseon. That's fine. That's quite fine. Economy's at a $250 million. It's rapidly ruling here. Now, what is this diplomatic play? This is... They're going for Pontiac, but they have no way to get there, which is interesting. I wonder what will come of that. Again, I don't think they have the ability to get there. Great Eastern Crisis is actually progressing. The Ottomans might make this. They got 1 year and 3 months. If they don't get there, they're making 3 per month. So they're going to have a total of 15 ticks. They have 45 ticks. They're not going to make it. Nice. All right. Industrial grade materials. The industrialists find the high price of steel in the capital an impediment to their ambitions and would like us to prioritize importing it. My business associates abroad say that I run my business with an iron fist. It may sound intimidating, but it is in fact a rather humiliating joke at my expense. They are looking to imply that I'm getting rusty. We'll find a source of this vital material for the modern age, or their first ambition should be to make steel, not use it. I'm gonna pick the second one. I can't believe that. Do a promotion. I gotta piss off the industrialists. That event shouldn't be in there anymore because you can't just import stuff anymore. Anyway, tune in tomorrow for more big opinions about Victoria 3 with GenCat. Alright, the Petit Bourgeoisie demand the promotion of Major General Charles Séraphin Sénécal, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Strachan's face, Strachan's face, when the lieutenant general learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. Sénécal has earned it. He's promoted. Or the Petit Bourgeoisie will not force our hand. They get pissed off. Yeah, I'll promote him. He's fine. So, I've got expensive steel, do I? Yeah, I surely do. So, we'll go to urban buildings. We have some steel mills, but they're not profitable. Ooh, actually. Maybe we do need to go to water tube boiler for steel mills. Maybe we need to go to rotary valve engine. See, now you seem even less profitable. Yeah, no, clearly this is a mistake. Yeah, they're all going down in profitability now. Alright, well we'll go to hand assembly. But a lot of these they can't hire. Like the Southern Columbia one, the Saskatchewan one, they can't hire. Okay, now they're going up in profitability. And now they're producing more steel. Alright, so basically I'm going to look at the most profitable ones and expand them, and that's how I'm going to do it. Accidental good press for Russia. Private correspondence exchanged by members of the Anti-Russian League have been published in pamphlets. The letters praise Russia, contrary to the intentions of the trade unions. Frustration brews at the gathering of all the Anti-Russian League members. Many are quick to blame the trade unions for this mishap with a series of pamphlets distributed without their sanction. One member challenges the fervor of the group. Yes, this was not our intention, but is this not one minor setback in our great undertaking? Good press for Russia is harmless, improves relations with Russia by a little bit, but pisses off the Anti-Russian League. Or the trade union should pull any remaining pamphlets. 5% of trade unionist pops become more loyalist. I'm definitely going to pick that second one. So, looks like the one in Nunavut continues to be profitable. And Yukon Territory as well. So maybe they just needed a production method change. Okay, not so much now. Alright, Yukon Territory 1 is having a hard time. I think Yukon Territory 1 can still be profitable, though. I'm going to throw 3 more levels in Nunavut. Maybe they'll get a little bit of a scale bonus. Quebec, we're doing fine. Manitoba is doing really rough. Saskatchewan and Alberta, both of you can get 10 levels. And here's hoping that's sufficient. Oh, wow. Oh, there's a big war happening. Alright. Saskatchewan and Manitoba, you certainly have sufficient coal to keep the mills running. Alright. What's going on over here? It's the British versus the French. That's what's happening. Britain has attacked the French, going for a transfer of Griqualand and Mysore, as well as Joseon, Perak, Borgu, Sulu, and Morocco. France is instead going for transfer of British West Africa and the Ionians, Congo, and Majertine. Interesting. If I could get British Niger, that would be nice. Although, Benin is Edo culture. They're Guinean. And the people of British Niger are chiefly... Come on. It's not a great mesh. Maybe I'll try to get Sokoto afterward, and maybe I'll change some things up. In any case, we are almost assuredly going to get pulled into this. However, it appears that France is at the same time picking a fight with Brazil against the United States, which is wild. And Scandinavia would like trade privileges for investment rights. Let's negotiate. What about trade privileges for money? Or investment rights for money, rather. Yeah, that seems good. They seem happy with that. All right, let's do it. All right, France is calling us into one of these wars against Great Britain. All right, we'll do it. We've got to. Get the lads. Alright, so 1st Canadian Army needs to go to Africa somewhere. Let me look at our main war goals here. We're trying to get Congo, Majertine. Majertine's over here. Congo is here. West Africa and the Ionians. France, have you made yourself... Nope, there's... They're very close, but they're not pariahs yet. Alright, so... And then Britain wants... Bourgu... Sulu, Morocco. Alright. As long as we can keep the British away from Morocco, we should be good. I think this is our main front. I could go for, I could go actually for, Guyana. But I don't want to be conquering too much more stuff, because I'm going to get more infamy over time. Nasser in front. Oh my goodness, there's a front over here with Burma. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, 3rd Army needs to be over there. Ooh. I could seal Burma. 15.5 infamy. But it would give me a real control over Southeast Asia. I think I'm gonna do that. I think Burma will be mine. And we'll see what comes of that. Let's go ahead and... Oh my goodness, we're short on ammunition. That's bananas. Oh yeah, I guess I did build a huge navy. Munitions plants are having a dickens of a time hiring. Let's go ahead and build... Ah, I pressed the button that crashes the game. Let's go ahead and build a block of them in Manitoba and a block of them in Quebec. And that'll help us sort this whole situation. Could go to public motor carriages for my urban centers. I'll think about that. I'm gonna go to electric streetlights. I honestly forgot I hadn't done that. And you know what? While we're... Oh wait, what am I... Hold on. I think I need an additional army. I think I need an additional small army. A 20, 10, and 5 army. So let's go ahead and do that. This is quite a warlike episode. As the commander, we'll grab this bigoted pillager. He's a liberal. A bigoted pillager and a liberal. Dios mio, a liberal. Alright, we'll do 5, 10, 15, 20 for infantry. 5, 10. And for cavalry. Put them in the rock. And I think we will once again throw the power block statues at the bottom of the queue. The steel mills can live at the bottom of the queue as well. As we build up our armed forces. Alright, let's get rolling. Just got to be ready to press the mobilize button once this army's got units. Yeah, I bet you do. Don't worry, you'll be back. Soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. And we do have an army at home. All right. This army's ready to mobilize. They'll have more units soon. Where is my 35? You know what? Well, we'll move them to Southeast Asia later. Now, where's my second fleet? This fleet's large. This is my primary fleet. I'm actually going to move them to the English Channel, and I'm just going to convoy raid the Jesus out of the place. Let me see. Do I have a convoy raider specifically? No, I do not. All right, we're gonna shoot at a lot of convoys. There's a secondary front over here in France, which is curious. Quite curious. I say, there's too many fronts in this war. How can anyone keep track of anything? Surprised France hasn't pulled me into their war against Brazil, although I think I only have a defensive pact. First army has attrition. Fine. Alright, there we go. We're in Bourdieu. Yeah, Belgian state's damaging. Oh my, and Tunis is rebelling. This is first army. Why are you suffering attrition? Why are you out of supply? Go to a different front, you goobers. That's weird. Okay, so, hold on. Alright, so a bunch more transfer subject war goals have been... A bunch more war goals have been added. France is still at Notorious. This is still the same. This... Okay, now Brazil is going for an empire of their own, which is interesting. Alright, this front's still looking really clean. So I'm hoping things go easy there. Oh my goodness, the East Indies have become free. Hanover wants support independence. Hanover, what are you... You're an Ottoman subject. Let's not for now. What I really want is to be, Ooh, pasteurization. Excellent. What I really want is to be chill. Because I've been fighting a lot of wars here. And, you know, I'm making good time, but it's a lot. It's a lot to do. I'm going to once again move these power block statues to the bottom of the queue. Ooh, there's multilateral alliances. That would have been nice to have earlier, but it's nice to have it now. And did I put a steel mill at the bottom? I did not. Alright. So now what do I want technologically? I think now is when I knock out the whole rest of the military set. So we'll grab war propaganda. Submarine is already spreading, so that should be good to go. And then we'll grab NCO training. Concrete fortifications, military aviation, and mobile armor. And that should be fine. And then maybe we also snag central planning after that. Let me take a quick look and make sure I'm not really short of taxation capacity. I am mostly not short of taxation capacity, although once again, Ontario has, as a huge metropolitan area with 14 million people, has grown way beyond my ability to efficiently tax. So, how short am I? I'm short by a lot. Let me see. This is like 200. I'm going to build a nice, clean 10 levels. Now, let me just make sure that my munitions plants will all be being built, and they still will be. Alright. Beautiful. So that should be quick enough, and we'll see what that does in terms of my cash flow. Now, do I build an 8th army? I think I actually do. I think that's the plan. Let me see. We'll go with an imposing corporatist of the petite bourgeoisie now. And we'll do the same as we've been doing. We'll do 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, and 5. And that should be fine. We'll go ahead and throw these fellas at the bottom of the munitions plants. And what that will do for us is have one more army that we can get out overseas. And still be able to defend against 2 separate naval invasions. Now this war should be popping off pretty shortly. I'll be able to hit my mobilization button as soon as I can. France, you are in a tough spot, I must say. I hope you're able to defend your capital. Because it would be a real headache if you were not able to do that. There's the submarine unlocked. How long have I been at this? An hour. Nice. Alright, so some of these fronts are going to clear themselves out. Ooh, Kutai is going to be under threat here. Oh, weird. We got a secondary front over in northern Siam. That's curious. I'm actually going to grab the 7th Army and get them en route over there to make sure that that doesn't become a headache. And what we'll do is we'll get the 8th Army over to the Maritimes. Oh, actually, naval invasion is happening in Canadian Columbia, or Northern Columbia. I'm going to move the large army there. Alright. Mosquito Kingdom front is already done. Beautiful. So, where do we have shortages? The Eastern Mali front. We have nobody. Alright. We'll go ahead and throw this army over there. And again, this is the reason to have a bunch of small armies. Alright, what I'm hoping for is a front merge here. But if I can't have that, it won't be the end of the world. Alright, we're moving forward in what I see as the main front in Africa. Oh boy, so much. We have broken rivalries. Netherlands. Has Netherlands fallen in rank? They sure have, to a minor. Interesting. Alright, this is probably our invasion fleet here. But do you have any boats to invade with? Looks like we finished with our munitions plants, so our cash flow is our munitions shortage is sorted out. Second naval invasion. They're both in the same location. Alright, so we'll go ahead and grab the 8th Army. Station them over here as well. Actually, we'll put them in the Great Plains HQ for now, just to gather some organization. How are we doing with Tenasserim? We're doing well. Actually, I think we've almost... We haven't quite got all of Tenasserim yet, but we're getting there. Alright, Scandinavia is going after Transvaal, which is interesting. Alright, now we're moving forward in northwestern Africa. Very good. I am actually going to go ahead and pause government construction because I am a little tight on cash. A little tight on cash, and I definitely don't want to raise taxes right now because we're in the midst of a very... This war could lead to problems. Now, how are things going in the English Channel? Looks like we are in the midst of battles. I don't know that our navies have been engaged much. Transvaal backs down. Okay, disease among the wounded. You know what? I completely forgot to set mobilization methods. Oh, that's dumb. I'm dumb. That's okay. The deaths from disease amongst the wounded soldiers has skyrocketed. I mentioned a quart. You know how much a quart is, right? No? Well, picture 2 cups of tea. Now imagine instead of tea, they're full of maggots. That's how much we pulled out of this one poor fella after he was left to fester. This is troubling. We get 10 years of reduced recovery rate, or offload some of the strain to the civilian medical sector, half as much reduced recovery rate, extra mortality. Alright, this is what happens when... I did the second one. This is what happens when you forget to set your mobilization methods. So for my new armies, I'm just going to... Ooh, not going to do that one. I'm going to do anything that I can do without losing organization. I got to go with field hospitals. We'll do the other stuff whenever there's an opportunity. Actually... 8th Army is probably good to get everything they need, and we'll just eat it because they're already low on organization. And then this army, we're actually here. So we'll get them rolling first, and then we'll wait until those fronts merge, and then we'll be good. We've protected Siam, so that's what's important. We are losing some convoys, but that's okay. Alright. This naval invasion has started, so I'm going to put the 2nd Army over here to defend the naval invasion. 8th Army is still recovering organization because I goobered their organization. Alright, making very good progress. Unfairly denied entry. Spanish people in the Maritimes are being blocked from entering certain businesses by some local Franco-Canadian people. I've been going to this shop for years. Why is there suddenly a sign in the window saying people like me aren't welcome? Everyone must be allowed. Reduce authority. Or shopkeepers can sell or not sell to whom they like. I think everyone must be allowed. That's just our way. We're going to do it politely. Unfortunately, our organization is so low here because we're in a fight. Let's put this army on defense for now. We are progressing forward here in the west, so hopefully in the west of Burma. So hopefully that'll go okay. All right, there is a naval invasion going on here in Britain. We'll see how that goes. How are our battles? Our battles, we don't seem to be... Okay, we are fighting a battle here. That's cool. We're all ramming each other. It's 1915. Spread thin. The limited political resources of the intelligentsia have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Canadian-American Union and the Anti-Russian League. And for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned a page to the relevant entry and ran his eyes down the column. 300 crowns per month. For the man who sat across from him, the world was starting to spin. You're certain? and 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, can I have a copy of the manifest? I need to meet with my colleagues at once. There's no reason to remain in the Canadian-American Union. Membership in the Anti-Russian League is no longer useful, or abandoning either would be unwise, which makes them weaker. I'm going to kick them out of the Anti-Russian League. I think that's fine. Alright. So far, we are still winning this defensive battle over here. 8th Canadian Army is still gaining organization. Alright, so now I'm on defense over here. I'm at 65% organization. Let's go ahead and turn on our other methods. And that's gonna cost us a bunch of organization, but we'll live with it. And we'll see if they try to advance here or if they simply hold. I think they're gonna hold because we're technologically and materially superior. Alright. And then... Oh, actually, we won this other invasion. So we'll simply send the second army to handle this second invasion. And then all will be well. Wow, we sure are sinking a lot of British convoys. A comical amount of British convoys, frankly. If I do say so myself. Okay, so... high-grade explosives. Wonderful. The Ontario Munitions Company develops high-grade explosives, so that's going to make our explosives much more in demand. Luang Prabang is requesting that we permit them control of their own market. I'm going to decline. Don't worry, we'll get you back, Luang Prabang. It's not going to be too long. Alright, and Ottoman Empire, because they're now in this war, has failed at the Great Eastern Crisis. So we're going to see what becomes of that. Excellent. We goobered the East. Alright, so this is probably going to lead to huge independence movements in the Eastern Ottoman Empire. Alright. And have all these fronts become one? I don't know what happened there. I guess my primary army just moved off of its front and sat there. Well, that's unfortunate. That sort of thing used to be very common in Victoria 3, not so much anymore. Alright, I'm going to send this small army to the West Indies to invade there. Ooh, North German mass immigration. Alright, and where is our naval invasion now? Alright, it's over here. Alright, we'll go ahead and bring the 2nd Canadian Army to the east to resist it. And there is another naval invasion happening in Quebec. Okay, alright, so we're actually going to leave this army here as well. We're not going to go to the West Indies. Alright, I think this army is now strong enough to be able to advance. I'm not going to put them on pillage because Luang Prabang is our territory. They're our subject, so we'll keep going. Oh my goodness. Another naval invasion? I can't believe it. Alright, let's put 8th Army here in the Maritimes. And we'll use the 2nd Army to resist any other naval invasions, which should happen. Alright, it looks like we are winning in the Northern European front, which is also good. Looks like we've done a lot of damage to British naval infrastructure. Now, what is this? Sambas wants control. Now! Oh, this area has been invaded by the British. Well, worse things have happened to better people than me needing to deal with that. Although, it's really not me that the bad thing is happening to. It's really them. Radical revolt in the Philippines. That's cool. Alright, so these fronts should be merged now, and indeed they are. So, actually gonna No, I'm going to leave the second fleet here for now. I need more fleets. Gosh, and also golly, I need more fleets bad. If I increase taxes, how bad would that be? It wouldn't be that much, actually. I'm going to let it be. I'm going to go into debt a little. Canada can have a little bit of debt as a treat. I can't believe France is technically losing this. We are making a lot of progress on many fronts here, particularly with Africa merged all up into one front. And with all these convoys I've sunk, surely that's a bananas amount of damage. I have got a hold of... Okay, Mendeley is the capital of Burma. Alright, what are Britain's targets here? Wow, Britain, you are just going buck wild here. Britain, that's too many war goals. Put some war goals back. Once Mysore, Perak. Okay, so they want Sambas and the Marina Kingdom. Interesting. And Mahashatra? No, Mysore. No, Kolhapur. Oh, Kolhapur, the French. Yeah. Alright. That makes sense. Okay, so I think 7th Army, we gotta move these folks off of here. Alright. We'll put the 8th Army on this front. I'm actually going to move the 2nd Fleet over here to get Borneo back invaded. No, I will not grant you your own market, Sintan. I am going to get you back in my market. I gotta get boats there. I gotta get boats. That's all I need. Alright, I've only got one British naval invasion rolling right now, so it should be good. Alright, fronts have split again in Africa, which is weird. We'll send the 4th Army over here to deal with that. Alright, now Britain's starting to really lose war sport, although France is too. We've won most of the battles. And as long as we can keep Bourguieu defended, we should be good. Oh my goodness, there's a front in Egypt too? Golly. There are so many fronts in this war, it's bananas. I've got so very many strong armies, but I can't. It's a little bit of a difficult thing to get them set up front to front. Just because I don't have that many navies. Maybe this needs to be a lesson to me. Maybe I just need to build more navies. We are at number 1 in GDP, and we're significantly over Britain at this time. Wow, we accelerated on Britain so hard that they couldn't even withstand it. Alright, so this army, I think they need to... I'm going to send them to fronts in Guinea for now, as we get our fleet over here, because here's the thing. I'm going to need them to invade Majertine, because Majertine is what we need. Proletarian revolt in Bengal. That's exciting. Behind bars, the arrest and alleged ill treatment of a disorderly protester affiliated with the Athabascan National Movement has sparked resentment among his compatriots. Further demonstrations have been arranged, urging his release. Prison was a miserable place. Iron bars, stone walls, and cold floors. In the past few weeks, the guards had taken to casually tapping their batons against the bars when they passed by, making sleep impossible. He could not even escape in his dreams, as the tension he felt in the waking world began to bleed into his sleep as well. All this for pushing a policeman away? He'd regretted it, at first. Now, though, perhaps he could say that every one of them deserved that and more. Person early release for good behavior can be arranged. Salty industrialists, but weaker, less active Athabascan national movement. Or we will not make exceptions because of some hooligans. More active movement, but happier industrialists. I'm going to go with that second one. I like having happy industrialists. That's a Luxembourg situation. Alright, so... Second Fleet. Let's invade Sambas. With the... 7th Army. And did I see I have an army stationed in an HQ? I do. Alright, 4th Army. We'll send you to the West Indies. I just finished out my construction queue. It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, my private sector's really over it. Oh man, excellent. And reduced morale loss? That's bananas. Alright, so we got our new power block tenant. I'm tempted to go with advanced research too. So this is reduced ahead of time penalty. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it because getting increased max innovation is so strong. We're still pressing forward in Africa. We're earning our victories. We're green on a lot of different fronts. This naval invasion should be going really clean, really fast. I'm paying a small amount, but not that much, truthfully. Alright, we're successfully invading New Guinea. Alright, that's good. We're going to the other front in New Guinea, which is fine. I might have said that was Guinea before, but I should have said New Guinea. Alright, now Sambas is partially occupied, so we'll slowly be getting these territories back and getting them get their market access back. Now, France has probably lost its war with Brazil at present, but that's okay. Them's the breaks. So with this naval invasion finished now, I'm just going to let this front finish out, and then we'll get into Majertine. Now, do I have war support protection in this war? That's an important question. I do. Excellent. Yes, because they're trying to steal a bunch of other stuff. They're trying to steal Maya. How dare? How absolute dare? Maya. Maya's my tiny guy. Alright. Second Fleet. Handle it. Kutai, no. You will be back in my market soon enough, sir. As the 7th Army liberates the area. We sure do have a lot of armies. Alright, that naval invasion has sorted itself out. This front has sorted itself out. Let's go ahead and snag the New Caledonia front. Get that squared away. And what else do we need of Britons? Majertine, British West Africa, Ionian Islands, United Belgian States. British West Africa. Where is British West Africa? This is Congo. This is East Africa. It's this. This tiny piece. Wow. That's wild. That's wild. I didn't even know that was a meaningful amount of whatevers. Ooh, there's elevators. Excellent. Well, I mean, at this point, we will simply grab our urban centers and, oh my goodness, there was... I had two methods that I could have upgraded that I simply did not. Let's go to public motor carriages for these as well. That's going to produce a little bit more transit, and that's going to be good. Oh, I hear a lot of rumbling. Excellent. Alright, so We successfully started our naval invasion of Majertine. This army is a little bit low on organization, but they're against an army that is utterly ill-equipped to actually resist, so that shouldn't be a problem. Man, I am blasting away at their convoys. It's comical how much convoy damage I am doing. Perhaps if I... Nah, this situation is going to sort itself out. So France is going to get going to get Belgium, no problem. So what else does that leave? I'm going to get Majertine, then it's West Africa and the Ionians. All right. So I'm simply going to keep doing what I'm doing. 4th Army. Is that you? No, you're 3rd. Oop. That's gone. All right. Well, they're not suffering attrition anymore. That's for dang sure. Was it these fellas? It was these fellas. All right. All right. I'm gonna move the Canadian 4th Army to Morocco because alright, Majertine has been captured. So now I'm going to send the 3rd Army to the African front simply to defend it. And then the 2nd Fleet I'm sending to invade British West Africa, and they'll use the 4th Army to get there once they get there. Alright, we're still rocking our front in Indonesia, so that should be fine. Alright, these fronts have actually split. Alright, no, that's fine. That's fine if those fronts are split, because I've got an army on the way. I've got so many armies on the way, y'all. It's bananas. The Bastar Uprising. You know, let's leave that be for now. Bastar Uprising. I don't want to deal with that. NCO Incorporation spreading. Wow, someone else has NCO Incorporation. Whew. Tech is tough. Tech is tough. Golly. All right. British West Africa. Time for you to be invaded. We're slowly getting there, and then it's just the Ionians, and then we'll be good to go. France is once again attempting to invade the British home islands, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oh my goodness, Douala Uprising. That's exciting. Golly, we're just going buck wild everywhere. Yeah, and Britain's still trying to take Maya, which they're not going to be able to take. I think all right. We've gotten Borneo fully sorted. Northern Colombia is being naval invaded now. We'll go ahead and send. Let me see. I see 35 battalions worth of ships, or 35 flotillas worth of ships. I'll send my 35 strength army, and we'll go from there. This should be really fast. Oh, we actually got a hold of this territory, so we're coming in that way too. All right. Well, this is going to go really fast. Yep. 2 battles, 76% occupation. Yeah. Well done, whoever came in from the north. You did it. Beautiful. Alright, that's the front. Now, finally, we will invade the Ionians. The 2nd Fleet, that's going to be 4 weeks, and that should be the last place that Britain has war support protection from. And then, wait, we don't have all of British West Africa yet? Because this little slice of British West Africa is occupied by the British Senegalese. is occupied by the Senegalese reactionary revolt. That's crazy. That's bananas. We're going to have to invade Britain proper. How nutty is that? Alright, well, let's get to it. We'll invade the West Country. We'll do... Oh, my primary fleet is... Okay, hold on. There's a smarter way to do this. We'll get you rolling on the way over to France, and we'll redivert the naval invasion when the time comes. Alright, now are you... Alright, beautiful. So, we'll set you to interception. Naval invade the home counties. And that should be fine. Plenty of capacity for that. They'll be there in 3 weeks. And then what we'll do is we'll take our secondary forces and invade the West Country after. You know, once they're done doing what they're doing. Golly, we have completely cleaned house in Africa. Alright, we're bashing away at the British fleet, so that shouldn't take too long whatsoever. How goes the Ionian Islands? Okay, we got the Ionian Islands fully occupied, but there's a front here, and we're on it. Why do we have a front with the Attica Uprising? More importantly, if we leave, does that create a problem? Doesn't seem like it. Alright, so now we invade the West Country with our other fleet. Ooh, South Italian mass migration. Wow, we got 5 million people in immigration during the most recent during this war. That's bananas. We are going so far and so fast. This is great. All right, Ottoman naval invasion. Go ahead and lock them down with our 8th Army. Alright, and it looks like we should be able to seal off this Sulu front, and that should be good to go. And then I think we should have everything. Obviously the force comparison for this invasion is not great, but the one for the home counties is winning, so I'm feeling pretty confident in our ability to get this done. Nice, and we're winning our naval battles as well. Wonderful. Get wrecked, Britain. Great Britain no more. Sadly, we are helping the French establish a huge global empire and get enormously infamous, but it is what it is. I'm getting Burma. I'm happy with that. Alright. 60% occupation of the home counties. We are slowly gaining in occupation in the West Country as well. We're winning a battle, even though our force comparison doesn't look as good. Now, how's it looking for the home counties invasion as our next battle begins? It's looking really, really good. Our offense is rock solid. We're throwing money at the problem, and it's working. Second battle in the West Country looks like a win. I'm still holding the Ionians. I am indeed. Quite curious. 60%. Alright. Getting there, getting there, getting there. 38% occupation of the West Country. 88% in the home counties. And again, if we can win this battle, this situation is sorted completely. Beautiful. And we are in. So that means Britain should lose all of their war support protection. And indeed they have. So that puts them at a negative. I'm going to cancel this naval invasion because the Fourth Army can simply go to the home county's front and be invading Britain that way. And that'll be just fine. Now, the enemy's attempting to naval invade me at the Rock, but that shouldn't be a problem. Because Second Canadian Fleet repaired. I didn't even realize they had taken damage. We're only 5 million in debt, which is extremely, extremely manageable from my perspective. Britain is not going to be willing to surrender until the very end. So this was a major war. 2 million dead on the British side, of which 6/10 were 600,000 were Brits, 400,000 were Ottomans, and then wounded about 4.5 million, of which 1.2 million were British and 800,000 Ottoman. On our side, 600,000 French dead and 1.3 million French wounded. But for us, 300,000 wounded and 150,000 killed, which is not bad at all, frankly. So I'm feeling pretty freaking pleased with our performance in this war. I think we've done very, very well. We're, of course, losing some convoys sunk. But what are you going to do? Coup in Congo, interesting. Gotta keep eyes on the prize here. That's what you gotta do when you're invading Britain. More importantly, we've kept our standard of living up, which has kept us in a really solid number of loyalists. Although that number is going down a little bit, but it's only going down a little bit. I'm still feeling very confident in my ability to continue to manage my economy productively. I think basically as soon as the war is finished, we'll cut the episode, because we're making a lot of progress against Great Britain now, so it shouldn't hardly be any time longer. Maybe we'll go to the end of 1917, and that'll have us back on track for 2 about 10-year episodes, which should be just fine. Do I get silly? No, I'm gonna wait. Let's not choke at the finish line here. Whew. Well, this war looked dicey at the beginning, but I think we really pulled it through, and I'm quite proud. I'm quite pleased with how things have gone. And yeah, The Canadian-American Union has requested we revoke the trade privileges of Portugal. Portugal is a known opponent of American interests. We must be as comprehensive as possible. Any other approach is irresponsible. Portuguese aggression is as old as the hills. I fear that it may appear as if we are using our own nation as a piece on a chessboard for the sake of a foreign power. What would you say if pressed? A circumstantial alignment will not subordinate us. A circumstantial alignment will not subordinate us. In this case, American interests happen to be Canadian interests. It is as simple as that. I can say it's not in our interest, but I'll make them very mad, -5, or I can say we'll look into it. I'm going to say we'll look into it. And this should be the conclusion of the war. Beautiful. Alright, students rallied to Salish National Movement. A group of students attending the university in southern Colombia have arranged a demonstration in support of the Salish National Movement. The display has inspired other students to join the cause. The lecture hall was barren. There were always one or two students missing for illnesses, travel, or family occasions, but nothing of this scale. There were 3 or 4 students per row, each thrown into sharp contrast by the empty seats to their sides. It was material for a lecture of its own, he thought, like a heap of sand whose grains had blown away one after another until its form finally suddenly changed. So followed what had once been a class. The youthful lead candidate into the future, increased pop attraction for the Salish national movement, increased universal pop strength, reduced university throughput just in Southern Columbia, or they ought to focus on their studies. Half the modifiers for Southern Columbia, 5% of academics pops there become more radical, but no stronger Salish movement. I'm going to do the second one. Salish national movement. What, Salish. Northwest Coast Indian, Indigenous American. Alright, interesting. Cool. Oh, curious. Now it's a war against the Ottomans. I had no idea. There's the transfer Bahrain war goal. And France has war support protection. Or no, France doesn't have war support protection because Bahrain is being held by the Ottomans. Where is Bahrain? Here. Wait. But the... what? Okay, here we go. Alright, so France wants Bahrain, but the Ottomans don't want to give it to them. Alright, let's go ahead and grab our 4th army, and we'll invade using our 2nd fleet. Whew. Curious. I had not thought about that. I didn't realize there was an Ottoman situation. We are holding the... No one's built a Suez Canal. Alright, so France is actually losing war support at this stage. Let's throw the 2nd Canadian Army in here. And then 1st Army should be... 1st and 3rd Armies should be on their way home. And indeed it appears that they are. Nice. Alright, and then 1st Canadian Fleet. We'll put in the Gulf of St. Lawrence to protect our shipping. And that'll be nice. And we'll see. I think this will probably be done promptly. I would say promptly. I think this is going to go really fast. Once I get my naval invasion rolling. The enemy is putting troops here. And my navy is on their way around the Cape of Good Hope. But the Ottoman Empire decided not to fight about it, which is fine. Let's go ahead and roll through. Alright, beautiful. I'm going to unpause the government construction queue. And we'll get all of our forces on our way home as we celebrate the end of 1917 and a very successful war. I am going to... oh my goodness. What is this? A Burmese modernist revolt. Interesting. Alright, reduce subject payments. I'm going to improve relations. It does seem like the government forces are winning. Kind of impossible to tell, though. Oh my gosh, Britain's involved in this war. Is that what's happening? Yes, Britain's involved in the war, even though... even though they're my subject. Oh, that's so funny. Alright, Beautiful. So, Pontianak, you're still in a war with the Netherlands that cannot be completed. So I will simply declare a war to annex you, which nobody will stop me from doing. We'll just go ahead and grab the 7th Army and put them on the front. This is going to be really fast. Nobody's going to get involved. And we're getting mass immigration once again. Beautiful. There we go. And there's Britain helping us win this war. Oh, alright. That's so funny. Let's go... Ooh, and there's NCO incorporation. Excellent. I will go ahead and upgrade all of my armies. That is going to make things a lot easier for me militarily. The Beck backs down, and then the Federated Shan states are still a British puppet, and Chiang Mai is mine. Interesting. Quite curious. But not bad in any meaningful way. Now, I am paying a little bit of interest, but only a very little. As a great power, that's not really something that's on my radar. Alright, let me just take a quick pass through my subjects to make sure that we're all good. Sort by subject type. So I have 2 protectorates, Luang Prabang and Chiang Mai. They're both good. Only Burma is a little bit. Well, Samas and Sintang are a little bit froggy, but I don't necessarily need to worry about that because they're quite weak. All right, if I reduce Luang Prabang first, that should be fine. Autonomy, reduce subject payments, and then Chiang Mai, decrease autonomy, reduce subject payments. And that should be fine. It's going to make everyone else a little skittish, but that's okay. Oh, right, I'm done. That's alright, though. Luang Prabang, you can get scrappy with me. You can try to get scrappy with me if you want to. That having been said, I think that's going to be the end of our episode. We had 3 wars, 2 quick ones, and 1 really long one. Britain is still a substantial foe at this time in history. I do wish to improve relations with you a little bit. But perhaps... Oh my gosh, they're much weaker now. Perhaps... Instead of that... Oh no, because I do have a Canadian-British union. Alright, so I will improve relations. And we have a mission to revoke our thing with Portugal. I'm going to deal with that next episode. Alright, that's all we got time for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.